Hello everyone and welcome to Anfield Agenda. This is Jack Gill. Liverpool have beaten Leeds United by 3-0. The win is a good one, but it's overshadowed by an injury to Harvey Elliott that will probably keep him out for the remainder of the season. And, I don't think I've ever felt so defeated, so deflated, so heartbroken and disappointed after a win before. It's a horrible injury for Harvey Elliott, and we should be ecstatic with that performance. We should be elated with the result, but instead, I think we've all come away from that game absolutely devoed, heartbroken, devastated, gutted for an 18-year-old with bags and bags of talent. He was just showing the world what he can do. He'd had 3 starts in the Premier League for Liverpool Football Club on the trot, and then that injury. I'm heartbroken, lads. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully, lots of support for Harvey Elliott from everyone. But yeah, I think it was absolutely classless from the Leeds fans as well, hearing them sing "Always the Victim" when he's being stretchered off. You're looking at a young kid who has just had his leg broken by a challenge, and then you choose to sing that song. I think it's classless from Leeds fans. I think it's absolutely disgusting from them. And yeah, my heart goes out to Harvey. I'm absolutely devastated for him. I really am, and it's hard to put into words, how I feel about the performance from a Liverpool perspective, which from my point of view is one of our best performances of the season so far. We had everything. We dominated Leeds, but that injury just leaves a sour taste, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm going to talk more about the game. But first, I'm going to do an ad read for Surfshark. Surfshark are our sponsors for today's video. Surfshark, basically, they're an app or browser extension which allows you to browse the internet anonymously and unlock the world's largest Netflix libraries, including the US, Japan. You can watch hentai porn with it if you want. Anything. So yeah, it also keeps you anonymous and secure from hackers, particularly on public Wi-Fi, e.g. in schools, colleges, cafes, etc. Surfshark secures your data with industry-leading measures by using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. This is one that I use on a regular Surfshark, so make sure you get it too. It's easy to install. It runs on all your devices with one single subscription. And today, we can give you 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. And all you have to do is click the link below in the description and use the code Anfield Agenda at the checkout. And don't you worry, you'll be able to access absolutely anything. This is really helpful for me with 3 p.m. kickoffs and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you download it. Really good. And yeah, you'll love it. Anyway, getting into the video, I'm trying to perk myself up. I do feel disgusting. The reaction from Mo Salah to that injury made my stomach churn. I felt sick. I instantly saw the shape of the leg, well, more so the ankle of Harvey Elliott, and thought that I was seeing things. But then when Salah ran over, yeah, it's not good. And it's a potential career-ending injury. And he's 18 years old, and I'm not saying that he's still obviously going to have a long career ahead of him, but he was one of Europe's best young talents. He was showcasing his talent, and already, we saw signs against Burnley, didn't we? Burnley were putting heavy challenges into him, and he rode them really well, and he's put an Instagram post up that I'll read now. But yeah, I can see a lot of comments about this, asking what the type of injury is. For me, I saw, and there's a video going around Twitter too, that I wouldn't recommend watching. But his ankle, it's like a Jibril Cisse sort of leg breaking injury, where your ankle's the other way. So yeah, it doesn't look good. I want to talk about this from Joshua Victor. Joshua Victor says, but it's not a red. Come on. I'll just say this, okay? As someone who has refereed a lot in my past, you know, this is the first season I'm not refereeing since I was about 13, 14. You get red cards for endangering an opponent. That is the official term. If you are considered to be endangering an opponent, it's a red card-worthy challenge. And for me, though there was no intent there from Strujic, or Struik, however you pronounce it, you know, for me, it's a dangerous challenge still. And when any challenge results in an injury like this, they've not really had control. And therefore they have endangered an opponent. And for me, that is a red card. So therefore, Joshua, you're wrong. So shut up, and we'll move on. Yeah, there's lots of comparisons. People talking about, you know, the Andre Gomez injury as well. He was back quicker, wasn't he, than expected. And Harvey's 18, and I keep saying this. You know, he's an 18-year-old. His body, I believe, I could be making this up, but I believe when you're younger, your body repairs quicker. So fingers crossed, he'll do well. I want to stay positive, but when you see an injury like that, you do worry, don't you? And yeah, I'm gutted for the lad. But we'll talk about the game because there's loads of positives to take away from it. Anyone that usually watches me knows that I'm Jack 6-0 Gill. If we were ever going to win 6-0, today was the day to do that. 30 shots on goal. Sadio Mane could have scored about 6 to himself. There were so many chances missed. And I think that's the only question about today's performance. You know, I think it was a phenomenal performance for me. I thought Fabinho was absolutely superb. Rebecca Tavares, saw her tweeting at half-time. If you're watching this, she's defo not. But yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. He deserves a good night tonight. He really does. So give him that. But yeah, he's phenomenal. So important to this team. He really, really is. And I'm delighted that we were able to play him today. And obviously, that Brazilian ban was uplifted. Big talking point again. The Mohamed Salah goal. His 100th goal in the Premier League. His 100th goal in the Premier League. He's a winger. He's probably one of the best wingers, definitely one of the best wingers the Premier League has ever seen. And he has just penciled his name into the folklore of Premier League history. 100 goals for Mohamed Salah. And he's the man, isn't he? And, you know, we speak about the transfer window, and I don't want to bring it up again, but today we saw with the Harvey Elliott injury, you can lose players for a long period of time so easily in the Premier League, and that's why you need depth, and that's what we didn't do in the summer. And now our replacement for Gini, our replacement for Shaqiri is potentially out for the rest of the season. So yeah, sorry, I'm full of cold. So sorry for wiping my nose halfway through the stream. But yeah, for me, what a player Mohamed Salah is. As Oswald says, our 5-season wonder. You know, he's such a top player. He continues to have doubters, but he's just incredibly efficient, isn't he? He scores goals, and he does it time and time again. There's no one else in the world that could give us exactly what Mohamed Salah gives us. Let's be honest. And for someone who in this market was bought for just under £40 million, wow. Special. And what a signing, what a player. I can't ever stop singing the praises of Mohamed Salah. I can't believe there's some fans that would say, yeah, get rid of him to bring Mbappe in. No. Yeah, what a player. He really, really is. I just want to talk about some of the intricate passing and some of our play today. I thought we were incredible. I really do. I thought we absolutely dominated a really good side in Leeds. You know, I think Leeds were poor. It's very easy to play against when you're a big side, isn't it? Bielsa's sort of style. And I know that was the takeaway really from a Leeds perspective. I know Hasselbank said it, Gary Neville said it. They have to find a better way of playing against the top teams. But nonetheless, I thought we were outstanding. Some of our play was superb. I thought Joel Matip coming forwards with the ball. He's so good. So good. For me, one of the most underrated players in the league. When he's fit, he's top 5 centre-backs in the league. You know, I think he's outstanding and a super partner for Virgil van Dijk, who I personally don't think had his greatest games today. There was a couple of moments, but nonetheless, still obviously a Virg performance. And yeah, I thought we were outstanding. As I said, I thought the midfield was really good. Fabinho in particular for me really shone. Harvey Elliott was once again outstanding before his injury. And then our front three looked incredibly dangerous, but the worry was putting the ball in the back of the net. And you know, at 1-0, there was always that worry that Leeds could get back into this. You know, we missed chance after chance after chance after chance. And I know just before we scored from that corner, obviously Fabinho putting the ball in the back of the net. There was a potential penalty shout. There were two really good opportunities missed there. I think the Salah one was an incredible challenge to credit Leeds, and I think that was Struijk to be fair. So yeah, I can see here apparently Klopp has said that Harvey has dislocated his ankle, so it's only 6 to 12 weeks if that is the case. Yeah, well, that's better than a leg break, isn't it? So yeah, fingers crossed that is the case. I'm not watching the Klopp interview. Obviously, I'm doing this, so please can you not confirm whether that is true or not? But yeah, that's brew. That is really good news. That's cheer me up a bit. That we can all breathe. We can all enjoy the victory now. Up the Reds. But yeah, yeah, speedy recovery, Harvey. As I say, he's young as well, so fingers crossed he'll recover quickly and be back sooner rather than later. But that is brilliant news. Well, not brilliant news, obviously, but that's much better than what we expected. So, yeah, we can all breathe a sigh of relief now. Siad says, man of the match for me is Mohamed Salah. What about you? For me, yeah, Salah's up there. So is Fabinho and probably Matip too. They're my three. But I'd say Salah or Fabinho. I really rate Fabinho, and I thought today was a very good performance from Fabinho. Too cozy, and of course he got a goal to add to his top performance too. Let's have a look. Anything else? Jack, did you see Jurgen's interview? Pretty emotional, just makes you love the man more. Yeah, Jurgen is one of us, mate. He is one of us. He would have felt hurt, devastated, frustrated, and heartbroken by that Harvey Elliott injury. He just got his rhythm. He just got in his groove. He started his third game in a row in the Premier League. And yeah, it's a really heartbreaking injury, isn't it? And we've just heard about the dislocation. So that is better news than we thought. But even still, it's still horrible, and it leaves a sour taste, doesn't it? So yeah, of course it's going to be emotional. But yeah, he's dislocated his left ankle, confirmed by James Pearce on Twitter as well. He's in a hospital. So yeah, thank you, Connor, for sending me that. But yeah, domination from Liverpool today from start to finish. We're joint top of the league, third, as you know, normal people call it, having scored quite a lot in our first few games, only conceding one in our first 4 games, and that was against a very good Chelsea side. So yeah, some good performances, and I thought today was probably the best of the bunch. I thought we were really good. There's a comment here from Glenn Boylan who says Thiago was absolutely brilliant today. Yeah, I think there was still a couple of issues from him. I think in terms of passing, I think there was a couple of times where he was dispossessed and there was a sloppy pass from him as well at times. But I do think it was still a very good performance from Thiago, and I'm not taking that away from him. I think at times, well, Mustafa's put here that he disrupts the fast transitions, mate. That's how I feel. But anyway, we won. Good game. I don't agree necessarily with that properly. I think he can in a way. I think he is too slow at times, too casual. I have a mate who says that he reminds him more of a futsal player in how he plays the game, and that kind of, that kind of, I would agree with that. But I still think he's an amazing player. I think he was good today, and you can't complain when we perform like that, can you? We were outstanding. A comment here from Darren Garside who says, "I'm not sure Thiago is right for Liverpool. World-class player, Good for Liverpool at times. We saw at the end of last season he was outstanding. We've seen today he was good. At times there were some moments, but still a good performance from Thiago. But would he be better and suit other teams more than he suits this Liverpool side? Probably yes. That is my honest view on it. Genuinely. Michael says glad Mane got one. He deserved one today. He deserved about fucking 6, mate. It does worry me a bit. I'll be honest. I'll be blatantly honest now about Sadio Mane. His finishing recently does really bother me. It reminds me of Mane when he first moved to the club. Today he looked so dangerous. He was getting in the right areas. He had more shots than the whole Leeds team combined. But the worry is at the moment him putting the ball in the back of the net. And it was a problem of his at one point, wasn't it? And then he had them 2-3 seasons where he was outstanding and getting all kinds of numbers, and he was the top scorer in the Premier League alongside Salah, alongside Aubameyang, and he didn't take penalties. I think he needs to get back in his groove, and hopefully that goal in stoppage time would have helped him. You did see him smiling after the goal, and when he was missing his chances, it seemed like he just thought it wasn't his day, and fingers crossed he can get back in goal scoring form after that goal today. So yeah, delighted he got one. But yeah, his form in front of goal, other than that, is worrying me. Let's have a look. Michael says the open net, the ball was behind him, in fairness. Yeah, I do agree. It was behind him. His body wasn't in the correct shape. So, at face value, it looked worse than it actually was. But still, missed too many chances today. He's got to be converting more. He could have had a hat-trick. Liverpool should have come away from that winning 6-0. I should be on here gloating that I finally got it right. But yeah, that's for me. Konate says Thiago had one of his better performances. There was a comment before as well saying Thiago made horrible mistakes from Anna Lawati. And Mohamed Hamza says Thiago is a legendary and world-class midfielder. We have to respect him more. The man has won more than 30 trophies and he's just 30. I think, for me, he had a good performance today. One of, I think he does. I agree with Aimer. We do see some mistakes from Thiago. There was a couple of mistakes today. It wasn't the smoothest of performances, let's call it that, but a good performance nonetheless. I don't think there was a bad performance from anyone in that Liverpool side today. I think it was a really, really top quality performance. We dominated from start to finish. We were outstanding today. There was so many clever, intricate passing moves from Liverpool. And yeah, there is nothing negative to take away from that game other than the Harvey Elliott injury and the fact that in front of goal, we should have finished more. That is all. That are our only takeaways from that. So, yeah, Leeds are very open. That suits us. We know that. And today we thrived. We really, really did. And for me, it's certainly the best performance I've seen so far from Liverpool this season. It really is. Truly, truly top stuff from us, in my opinion. Ishan says thoughts on Elliott. Heartbroken, but slightly relieved at the fact that it's only a dislocation, because that should be less time on the sidelines for him. I started this with an intro where I had a sicky feeling. I was hating the fact that we won, and I felt like this. I've never felt so dismantled, disjointed, and disgusted after a win. And that's how I felt. I felt sick. I felt heartbroken. I felt truly gutted for Harvey Elliott. But yeah, the win didn't feel like a win coming away from it with that injury. But relief now. Relief with the news that it's just a dislocation. And, fingers crossed it is just that, because like Brendan says here, it could be more complex than just popping it back in. There could be tears and stuff like that. So, it might not be plain sailing still, but it's still better news than what we all feared, let's be honest. We saw a similar thing happen with Andre Gomez, didn't we, of Everton, when Heung-min Son, obviously it looked awful when we saw it, but he was back a lot sooner than we thought. So, yeah. Question from Konate saying, how long does a dislocated ankle keep you out for? Usually, I think someone put on here earlier, usually about 12 weeks, 2 to 3 months, something like that. Let's have a look. Anything else? Siad says, Matip, greatest of all time. We have to talk about this fella. For me, he's so underrated. He's a top quality centre-half. He has assets of a midfielder too. Remember, formerly he has played in that 6th position at Schalke. You know, and you can see that he loves to roam forwards with the ball at his feet, and he brings us something completely different. You know what Verge brings us is the ability with, you know, his passing range and you know, just the fact he's fucking the best defender in the world. But with Joel Matip, you know, he can also do what Virgil can do, where he roams forwards with the ball. He's also very good at picking a pass. He's also a top defender, and you know, we've signed Ibrahim Konate, a very good young talent who's also a top class centre back. We've got Joe Gomez, who has quite a lot of injuries in his career, but he's still a very good centre back. And at the minute, Matip is keeping both of them out with no chance of getting into this side because he's performing brilliantly. And you know, today was another top quality performance from Joel Matip. It really was, and I was really impressed by him again. But as I say, for me, Fabinho, who Nad Iqbal points out as the best midfielder in the world, he is certainly one of the best midfielders in the world. He's certainly top 3 DMs in world football. He is world class, and today was a top performance from him, and he even got a goal, which is rare for him. He added a goal inside the box, of course, and he added a goal to the game to round off what was a truly magnificent performance from him. So yeah, delighted with the 3 points, delighted with the fact that we are only 3rd on alphabetical order, I believe. We're tied with Manchester United and Man City on 8 goal difference, I think. Or is it Chelsea? I think it's Chelsea, actually, yeah. Manchester United and Chelsea on 8 goal difference. Yeah, of course it is, because City lost to Spurs. But yeah, really good performance. Let's have a look. Anything else? Just Storms the Hypermaster says, I felt like Jota was too selfish. I'm still not convinced by him in the 9. That's my honest opinion. I still prefer him when he's playing on the left. You see Mane on the right and Salah through the middle, or you know, I do prefer him on the left. But he brings goals. Today wasn't the best of days for Diogo Jota. But was he too selfish? Not too sure. People asking about who should replace Harvey in the team now while he's out injured. Hendo or Naby, I think, is the obvious choice. You know, what do you lot think our midfield will be on Wednesday? I'm not going to give away what I think yet, because we'll talk about that in more detail later in the week. But yeah, I'll talk about this as well. Dada Piggles 456 saying injury list is already growing. Yeah, worried, weren't we, going into the season with our lack of business this summer, and the man who was the replacement for Shaqiri, the replacement for Gini Wijnaldum. We'd seen him getting more game time in the last 3 games, getting back to back starts. Is now out for around 12 weeks or longer. So yeah, absolutely gutted. And are we going to regret not signing more players in the summer? Potentially, yes. Where is Curtis Jones? Is Adrian Bamford? He was on the bench today. Chance for Curtis Jones to come in, says Dylan Riley. Of course it is. You know, it's a chance for everyone now to show on the training ground that they want to start against Milan. I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain looked all right when he came off the bench. I thought Naby looked all right when he came off the bench. So yeah, I think let's have a look in the comments here. Someone's put here, Oxlade-Chamberlain looked well off, looked great in pre-season, but now shrug. Yeah, he looked brilliant in pre-season. He wasn't as good as that today, but I still think it was all right from him off the bench. Klopp seems to like using him in that false 9 position now, doesn't he? So yeah, I think in terms of thinking who's going to replace Harvey Elliott in that midfield 3 position, I don't think Ox would be one of them. I think it's Hendo or Naby realistically, isn't it? Jones though will be someone who. Jones will be someone who is also in Klopp's mind for more game time now as well. Mohamed Hamza says, why did we sell Shaqiri anyway? We had too many overseas players, mate. We had to get him off our books. And also Shaqiri wanted to leave. So there we go. John W. Henry, well, the official one, maybe. Casemiro and Kante would be ahead of Fab. He's not far off, though. Well, I did say top 3, but there we go. Brian Morrissey says, if Ox is getting starts, we really are in trouble. I don't think he will get a start, mate. I really don't. You know, he's our third choice false nine. Let's be honest. So yeah, that's for me. Jones is a better player than Ox, says Elijah. Right now, probably yes. I'd agree with that. I think, you know, both are versatile players. I think Ox, though, can play in more positions than Curtis. Elijah thinks that he should be sold in January. But yeah, for me, you know, we've still got enough players for now, as long as there's no more injuries. We know Minamino's out injured at the minute. We don't know how long that's for. Divock Origi seems to have gone missing in action, or not in action, not in the squad again today. So yeah, I've run out of time. I'm going to have to hand you over now to Craig, because he's going live now with his player ratings. I'll leave you with this. Paul Muck says you sound a bit run down. Jack, get well soon, mate. Yeah, I've got full of cold. I feel awful. But yeah, I enjoyed that game other than the Elliott injury. So yeah, Craig's going live now for his player ratings. Please join in for that. Thank you, Paul Muck, for that comment, by the way. And thank you all for joining me for this. Liverpool are third in the league, but we're on the same amount of points as top. It's been a good start to the season. Up the Reds, and I'm wishing a speedy recovery to Harvey Elliott. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon, and make sure you join Craig now. Ta-ra. And download Surfshark too. See you in a bit.